Welcome to Prep Time Productions. Today what we're going to be doing is slightly different than some of our other videos. We are going to be doing a definitive Marvel Cinematic Universe villains ranking and heroes ranking. So we use 3 criteria for our decision-making process. The first was motives, is scale, which is the second category. Then the last thing is feats, and the best that you can get in any category is a 3. The worst that you can get in any category is a 1. All right, so we're starting with Ironmonger. Now, I gave Ironmonger a 5. David, I'm gonna start with you. What did you give Ironmonger?
I also give him a 5.
Oh yeah, so you was feeling that he was getting there in the bare minimum. All right, so
Yeah, he didn't do much.
Star, what about you? What are you giving Ironmonger?
I gave him a 5 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twan, you there?
Movement.
Yeah. Ironmonger. What did you give Ironmonger?
Oh, Ironmonger. I see. I had to think about it. Like his feats are dope as hell. So I would have to give him. At least a 6.
Are you drunk?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
feats?
what was the
At least a 6.
Feats,
I,
dude.
the fact that it was mad simple. Like he decided, like he was automatically just going to get rid of Iron. He was just going to get rid of Tony. He was just like, I'm going to get rid of Tony, and that was it. Other than that, he would have been fine. Like he actually built the Ironmonger suit. Like he was a normal ass man. Like Tony Stark. And we're just taking this off the first movie. Like that's a pretty fucking cool feat.
But normal in a sense,
just to
he got
build
a lot
up
of
that
money.
Everything that you mentioned so far has been motive to me. I mean, creating an Ironmonger suit kind of falls in the category of a feat, but like,
all right.
what scale of feats are we talking about here?
All right. If anything, I'm giving him a 5 then because his motives were ridiculous. Like the fact that he would go ahead and become a warmonger, which was dope, and the fact is that he was able to go ahead and try to get rid of Tony. But other than money, he didn't have like any real motive behind that. But the fact is that he just would have took control of the whole war economy.
Yeah, I could see that, but like, I mean, a lot of people benefit from warmongering, so to speak, today, and they're not huge threats. Yeah, but then again, a lot of them don't have Ironmonger suits, so that does make a difference.
And also,
all right, but let's move on. All right, so Abomination. I mean, because like we already all gave them 5. Everybody gave them 5s across the board. I mean, you try to squeak them in there and give them a 6, but not family. All right, so Abomination. What are you giving them, Twan? I'm gonna start with you. Be realistic.
All right.
Because I'm gonna channel the spirit of Flip. And
Be automatically his antagonist.
Right.
Well,
Man, we done lost him to the ether
I think
again.
so too.
All right, Star. What about you? Let's start with you.
You know, I mean, from like our initial, like when we did like, I don't know, like a pseudo rating, like I wanted to give this nigga a -1.
But
okay, so based on the rating system that we have right now, I mean, motivation, I want to be stronger. No, so that's not enough for me.
so you gave him a 1 there.
I gave him a 1 there.
Okay.
Scale, he doesn't become stronger, so he's stuck at the same power level. So once again, I mean, we're talking about the Hawkverse here. So once again, I gave him a 1 in that place right there.
Wait. He does become stronger though.
No. When I mean he doesn't become stronger, like once he becomes Abomination, that's his power level. Like with the Hawk, as the Hawk continues to get angrier, he gets stronger. You know, like in the Hawkverse is what I'm talking about. With the Hawk there continuously to be his primary foe, he's not going to be able to really move beyond the Hawk.
I get what you're saying, but I still feel like if we're giving the Hulk a 3 as scale of like Oh well, the scale is also not just their power level or their threat level. The scale is also the amount of what
can they do? That's
yeah.
all
Right,
let's think about
what about. We're looking at potential and not what's actually happening, right?
He was wrecking the city.
Abomination went through New York City flipping cars and did that. He didn't do a damn thing, bro. Like that was it. He fucked up Harlem. Like the fuck.
That's what I mean.
Like, get the hell out of here.
I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like what was his threat level in the movie, and not what his potential threat level could have been, because he doesn't have 3 movies. If he had 3 movies, then I probably
that's my point.
A little differently. But in that movie, I gave him a 1.
Okay, so then on feats, what did you give him there?
A 1.
You got a 1.
What?
Yeah, he got a 3.
No,
I told you, I'm about to give him a -0.
Yeah, 1, dog.
Bruh,
that 0 can't even be negative, son.
Hold on, let me flip. All right, man. First of all,
counter that.
I gotta counter that. We gotta counter that. The man took on Hulk 3 different times. All right, the first time he didn't know what he was up against, so he got washed in that arena.
Oh my god.
And he still didn't even get washed. He
was like the only one who made it out alive. So
Hulk threw that big ass like centrifuge thing at him, and he dodged it. No problem.
He threw a forklift at him, and he was just like
forklift.
Matrix dodge. But then the second thing is, after he got injected with that serum, the super soldier serum that they gave him, he took on the Hulk 1-on-1. Like the Hulk was coming at him, slashing, cutting, punching, smashing, doing all this shit.
He dodged all this.
He was evading everything, and like basically walked up to this man and was like, "Is that the best you got?" Who walks up to the Hulk and say, "Is that the best you got?"
All right, okay.
So you trying to give him
a 2?
Hold on,
I give him a 2.
No, fuck that. Because you're trying to give him a badass badge. You're literally saying,
he is.
You're not getting no 3.
No. But that's not a feat.
You get no 3.
That's not a feat.
Listen.
That is a feat.
That's not a feat.
The feats were the things that he did leading up to that.
That is a feat.
That is a feat.
No, listen.
That is a feat.
If you're saying that being a badass is a feat, no, listen.
Well,
if you're saying being a badass is a movie, and you're saying that being a badass is a feat, then that's retarded,
well,
dude.
not necessarily being a badass. It's just going
it's not that part.
with the Hulk.
That's exactly.
I mean, essentially what Pauly was saying.
No.
Twan, you're trying to reduce what he did down to just calling it being a badass. The badass is what we call the person. No, I'm saying we call it. It's the actual things that he did. Going toe to toe with the Hulk is the feat.
It's a big deal. Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Hold on. All right, let's stop this now. Because you're not going to make it sound like he was invisible. You have it straight up fisticuffs. Just straight up fisticuffs with fucking Hulk.
Bruh,
he was just like
when Thor fought him, when all these other people he was fighting 1-on-1, they were actually trading blows. Nobody was evading those. Like, he was evading those and only had the super soldier serum in him. He didn't have anything that put him on par with Thor or anybody.
Let's think
else.
about it like this. Who else did Hulk try to kill during that time when he was fighting all them soldiers? He didn't try to kill anybody. If anything, he was trying to stop them from attacking him.
Yeah, but I'm saying, and against him,
and what I'm saying,
1-on-1.
So what I'm saying, but he only decided to go 1-on-1 up to the point where he kicked him in the goddamn chest.
No, he was 1-on-1 the entire time he was fighting this dude, and then the guy.
He was running past all the tanks and shit. Remember? Right. And he ran up mad fast, and he like slid under him. And he started taking him on, like shooting him in the back of the legs.
No. This all sounds like cool, badass shit. But when you say
he still held his own. He held his own. Like, you can't deny that he held his own. You can't deny that.
Kicked it in his chest.
Yes,
but that's because he walked up and asked for it.
Basically,
just got kicked in the chest.
All right, but here's the thing, though.
In the chest, basically.
Star. So at this point, he's at a 2. That's what. All right.
Yeah, I'm giving him a 2.
To me, the thing that pushed him to a 3 was after this point, he ends up becoming Abomination and then starts mopping the floor with Hulk. He literally is winning this. He is besting the Hulk until Betty becomes threatened, during that match. If it wasn't for Betty, like Hulk looked like he was about to give up, just like straight give up.
So I guess for me, what I would do is I would probably give him a 5 because I probably would change his scale, his threat level to a 2. And the reason I would change his threat level to a 2 is because he was he was able to think while being the Abomination.
A good point.
So because he was able to think, that's really why he was able to best Hulk at that particular moment. So I would raise his threat level to a 2. So he's a 5. I'm going to give him a 5.
All right, so
I'm giving him literally brownie points on potential. Get the hell out!
No, it's not potential. It's what he actually displayed.
He was only in Harlem. He didn't leave Harlem. I know people that didn't leave Harlem. He didn't leave Harlem.
Hey, beloved, get out of here. Get out of here.
Listen, I give Abomination.
David,
I'll tell you right now.
Go ahead.
I give Abomination a 6. Now his motives were weak. Just want to be powerful. That is a weak motive. So I give him a 1 there. You know why he got a 3 for me on the scale of his threat level? Because he was mopping the Hulk, like Pauly said, he was crushing the Hulk in Harlem, which means he's on the scale of Hulk. He may not be as powerful as the Hulk, but could be just as powerful as the Hulk. The Hulk might raise his power level, but Abomination is still that strong that he can take a punch from the Hulk. So that means he gets a 3 on my scale because that's power. That's power. But his motive, his feats got 2 because, granted, he was fighting and beating the Hulk, but in the end, he still got bodied by the Hulk. And like Twan said, he never left Harlem.
Yeah,
he didn't go anywhere else.
I don't disagree with that. I also gave him a 6, and I felt just like you guys did that he gets a 1 for motives. I gave him a 2 in scale because I felt that his was represented by what he actually was able to destroy and beat. He was able to best Hulk for a bit, and he was able to destroy a town. So we know he has a capacity for more, but based on the fact that our rating scale only covers what they do in the film, then I can only give him a 2 for what he did in the film. Now, the reason I gave him a 3 is the same reason we kind of arrived at, is that he started out as just a mere man and kind of went up against the Hulk, was the only man to make it out alive out of his team, and then he got the super soldier serum. That bumped him up to a 2 because he took the Hulk on one-on-one and still lived through it. Even though he got the boot kick, he still lived through it, Twan. Like, he lived through it and got up the next day and was like, all right, what else?
But that's because of the super soldier serum.
Yeah, it is because of the soldier.
That's a super soldier serum.
Yes. But it's still in him. That's like saying Captain America is not Captain America and he has a super soldier serum.
Come on now, stop with this nonsense, bro.
I'm trying to merit that.
Look, bro. Look.
That's why he survived that kick.
You asked me. Look, when you asked me the question, you said, "What did you give the man?" I said 3. I told you why.
I'm telling you why I gave him a 6. I'm telling you why I gave him a 6.
Yeah,
all right,
and I'm not disputing why you not giving him I'm not disputing why you giving him a 6.
Yeah, but all right. So when we get to Captain America, don't be on this whole. Oh, but but he Captain America. Like, I'm gonna say, oh, but he only got super soldier serum. Like,
yeah, bro.
But I have changed my rating, and I will give him a 5, and that's mostly because I factored in his intelligence in the scale area, and that changes the individual with his intelligence, because he was able to best the Hulk because of his intelligence, and I feel like in threat level, which is what scale is, intelligent is incorporated in threat level.
Yep. All right, so Twine, are you still on 3? You not changing?
I'm never leaving.
You being biased, bro.
That is.
Team Petty.
Listen.
It's over 3,000.
I'm about to tell you right now. If I was able to give him lower rating, I would literally give him nothing. I would literally give him the lowest rating possible. Just because.
All right, look, let's move on. So,
yeah, we gotta go to the next character.
Right. All right, so Ironmonger so far is at a 5. Abomination, I just did the math. I took all of our scores and then I added them up and I divided by 4. The average is 5. So he's at a 5. Despite what Swan wants. I mean, I wanted him at a 6.
Average is average, dog.
All right, so Whiplash.
He gets a 4.
A who? A 4 from you?
4.
Okay, so I gave Whiplash a 4 as well. What did you give him, David?
A 4.
All right. So, Star.
Let me think. Feats, scale, motives. Yeah, I think I give him a 4 as well. I think the only thing that, like, for this particular character, while I didn't think he was an awesome character, I really liked the character in the movie because he just was like really cool looking, and like the shit that he did was really cool looking. Like, but minusing the cinematic aspect of him, I'm gonna go with the 4 as well.
Right. I think ultimately, like, the only thing that he really has is like his motives was kind of strong. Like, he did it for revenge, and I think that can be deemed as a stronger motive than like, oh, I want to be strong or I just want to be rich, kind of like Ironmonger and Abomination. So it was more passionate, is what I'm saying. So that said, let's move on. So he's at a 4. Everybody gave him a 4. What about Loki? I'm just gonna go ahead and start off. I gave him a 9.
Yeah, you gotta give him
fucking ninja. I fuck with Loki.
Dynamic.
My name. So
seriously,
Loki is like probably arguably one of the only people who will get a 9 out of me amongst the villains, because it's very difficult. And I'm not saying I'll reserve the rest of the ratings until we get to them, but it's very hard to accomplish the amount of feats that he has, and it's also going to be hard to accomplish the motives and scale that he's been on. Like, he's done things on a global scale, and he's done things on a kind of intergalactic scale as well. So it's really hard to like trump Loki. I think Loki probably arguably deserves a 10 in the sense that but we can't give him a 10 theoretically, you know, and the way the ranking system is set up. But so yeah, I think Loki gets that from me. Star, let me go ahead to you. What do you think?
I'm like right on the same page as you, because once again, like you said, I mean, as far as motives are concerned, as far as scale is concerned, as far as feats is concerned, I feel like each one of those deserve a 3.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, that's a 9. I can't see why he wouldn't get a 3 in any of those categories, because I just don't feel like, I mean, to give him a 2 or even a 1 would just be to minimalize the character that he was, and I just can't see that happen, especially over the amount of movies that he's been in and the things that he's done and the reasons that he's done the things that he's done.
Yep. Okay, Twan, what did you get as well?
I give him a 9.
Right. I was about to say.
Yeah. We was about to fight Twan.
I was gonna try to fuck with y'all for a while.
He's like, man, can I pull this troll off? I can't do it.
Yeah, you want the troll or the fucking the fucking website.
All right, David, what about you?
9 across the board.
Okay, all right, so let's move on. Everybody's agreed upon Loki. Red Skull is the next villain on the list. Now, I gave him a 7. David, touch base with me.
I gave him a 5.
Woo! All right, so hold that thought. I want to come back to you. I want to know why in a second. Twan, what'd you give him?
I gave him a 6.
A 6. So, all right, so we 5, 6, 7. No, so far, we ain't on the same page at all, y'all. Star, what'd you give him?
I'm going to be... I do not remember his character.
I'll let you think about it while
do that. Let me.
David, why did you give him a 5?
Alright, well, I gave him a 2 in the motives because his motives were really, like, you know, the same motives as, like, you know, World War II motives. So, like, they weren't really globally threatening as much as it was just kind of like Europe threatening at the moment. Until they started launching those planes, I guess. I gave him a 2 in the scale because, again, like, it's just he just created Hydra. Like, he himself wasn't personally all that big of a threat. And I gave him, and in the end, I gave him a 1 in the feats because, like, what did he really end up doing?
Yeah, see, all right, this is why
he found the Cosmic Cube, but he never used it properly.
Yeah, this is why I'm disagreeing, though. I'm disagreeing because I felt that his scale was a 3. He was trying to take out things on a global scale. Like all those bombs that were set up, that Captain had to come in and prevent him from dropping on those cities. Each of those bombs was targeted for an individual city. So on the scale of power that he actually wielded, sometimes it can't be about just the power. When you're a villain, you have henchmen, and he had a bunch of henchmen. Hydra, they were on global domination. That was their goal, and that was his goal. So him as a individual, he was also a super soldier. He had serum injected in him as well. Was he as good as Cap? No, but for the first time interaction that they met, like he kind of bested Cap. So I still feel like he has some feats there. I think like ultimately I gave him a 2 in the feats. I gave him a 2 in the motives like you did, but I gave him a 2 in the feats and a 3 in the scale because he was a global threat. Twan, why did you give him a 6?
All right, so I would say that I looked at it in the same way how you said that his feats are 3. I would disagree slightly.
No, I said scale.
Okay.
Scale.
On the scale, I gave him a 6, and
no,
the reason.
No, scale meaning.
Oh, the scale. Okay, I get you. On power scale. All right. As far as his scale, I would say that he's a 2, all because you're looking at the fact that he was able to harness the Tesseract into a weapon and use it where he was able to, and use it for the guns that he gave to his henchmen. Ultimately he was stopped for his idea of taking the bombs to blow up all those cities. But, and it was a dope ass idea. But as far as global domination, it just didn't seem like it just didn't seem feasible, especially while he was on that plane. Like he was just gonna crash the goddamn plane.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna go to Star because I wanna hear what your thoughts are here.
All right, so after a quick read and listening to you guys, I think I'm with Pauly on the 7, especially with the scales. Bruh, he fucking created Hydra. Hydra still fucking exists throughout all the fucking movies. They are,
got a point.
And I mean that just right there, that creates the global threat level. And I feel if you're a global threat level, then you're a 3.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And so that's why he gets a 3 there. I mean, and with his motives being what they were, and he didn't have any crazy great feats, but he still did have feats. I mean, dude had a Tesseract, dog. Like B, you can't ignore that. So, he got a 7. I gave him a 7.
Yeah, but you know what? Nick Fury had this Tesseract and didn't do anything with it either.
Because Nick Fury is a good guy. Well, look, we got a point out of him, Pauly. We got a point.
I feel like that. I feel like I deserve, and Star deserves. We deserve a point. We deserve some 9s because we got Twan to change.
Exactly. Fucking cynical agent, dog.
Every now and then you can. All right, so I did the average, and we're at 6.5. We're not gonna do so. I'm gonna round it up because, I mean, I'll either round up or round down. If it was 6 1/4, I would have just rounded down to 6. But since it's 6.5, yeah. So I'm gonna say that he gets a 7 out of us. All right, so let's move on. Our next villain up is Aldrich Killian, aka Faux Mandarin 2 and Iron Man 3. All right, so I gave this man a 5. I'm gonna start with Twan and then work my way down the other way.
So as far as Aldrich, like I don't know. I think I actually gave him a 6 as well. I think I gave him a 6.
I gave him a 5.
All right, so I'm gonna come back to that 6. So David, you on a 5. Star, what about you?
I'm on a 5 too.
Okay. All right. So why did you give him a 6, Twan?
Dude was actually a global threat. Like he was actually a global threat. Like that. Like look, as much as I wanted to hate that shit, he actually is a global threat as far as what he was able to do with the extremists and
how so though?
Individual.
I'm saying like
able to get.
What threat did he pose to the global like I mean, to the world in general.
He was the mastermind behind. He was the mastermind behind the portrayal of Mandarin, who was doing a whole bunch of terrorist shit.
So all the little terrorist things that were going on, basically, it was Aldrich Killian.
Yeah, it was Aldrich Killian's.
Okay,
was behind it. And then also you got to take into effect that he was able to have people normal people under any kind of guise with extremists, and these people that had extremists, they were able to breathe fire and basically destroy metals. Like they was able to destroy the Iron Man suit, who has goddamn adamantium in it. So I'm just saying, like.
Actually, yeah, I think you changing my vote now. So basically, he was able to give out superpowers. Mm-hmm. He was able to be a terrorist, which is what he was on a global scale. Effing shit up around the globe. And the only reason I don't want him to be much higher than 6 is because his motives were 1, straight up. He had the weakest motive out of all the characters. He got snubbed by Tony, and that's why this man became a villain. I
mean, it's Team Petty on that shit, but let's be completely honest. Pettiness leads to a lot of fucking revenge type situations. So, I mean, I think that's the only reason I boosted it up to. That's why I gave that. That was a 2 initially for me. The only thing I changed to a 2 was his feet, because he fucking made Iron Man go through mad Iron Man suits. So
he kidnapped the president, or he had the president kidnapped.
That's another feat. He did kidnap the president.
Yeah,
and he destroyed. He destroyed Air Force One. He took out Tony's home. He made Tony so mad that he called a little kid a dick. Yo, this man has mad. Yeah, so I gave him a 2. So it sounds like, all right. So David just changed his to a 6 as well. I'm at a 6 right now. Scar, are you remaining at 5 or?
No. I just went up to a 6 because I boosted his scale level. Initially my scale level was different, but I boosted that up to 2.
Okay.
So I give him a 6 as well.
So this man is getting an official 6 as it is now. Okay. So
it has to be.
All right, so Malakith. Now, all right, Malakith, I initially thought I was going to rate super, super low. I was just I hate this villain, blah, blah, blah. He didn't do much for me. He wasn't interesting to me because he doesn't have a lot of dialogue, and they don't build a lot of depth into this character. But when you actually go back and kind of think about what he did over the course of that film and the course of that story, Malakith is actually probably one of the better villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I gave Malakith a 8. David, what did you give him?
8. Got a straight 8.
Got an 8. Okay, so Twan, what did you give Malakith? I feel like a troll coming on. All right. Yeah.
you gotta watch out for it.
He gave him an Abomination score.
Right. All right, Star. What about you, homie?
Give me one more second. I'm with the 8 as well. I mean, after doing a brief review to refresh your boy's memory, he got the 8. I mean, his threat level was definitely a 3. There's
no argument.
Number 2 is definitely a place that's not arguable in my opinion. 1, motives and feats, I think we can interchange those. I think we can swap those out and say 1 is a 3 or 1 is a 2, because like you said, with him killing Odin's wife, fucking up Asgard, fucking up Paris. I mean, if you look through the shit that he's done, which equates to feats, I mean, those are 3s, but I mean, you could also look at those and give that a 2 and see his motives as higher. I don't see his motives as higher. I gave his motives a 2.
Yeah, so either way, he's still getting an 8 across the board from everybody. All right, that said, so Winter Soldier, I gave him a 4. I actually felt like this is probably one of the worst villains. Twan, what did you give this man?
I gave him a 5.
So you gave him a 5. Where did you give him higher at?
I gave him a 2 in feats and 2 in scale.
So all right, that's what it is. See, and I said those could be interchangeable, so I can respect that rating. David, what did you give him?
4.
You gave him a 4 as well. So where did you give him the 2 at?
I gave him my 2 in the scale because, like you said, he's Captain America's, equal, basically, even a little better. So, and since Captain America is basically peak human, that's better than 99% of people. So, but like in the end, his feats, like he's an assassin, so it was like his feats were really kind of low level feats. Like he was just killing people. What was his feats? Killing Jasper Sitwell.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right.
So I can give a rating. So yeah, I'm on the 4 as well, because once again, being a drone doesn't equate to motives. I'm giving him a 2 in the scale and a 1 in the
speeds. All right, so I just did our average, and it works out to be like 4 1/4. So I'm gonna just round that down. He gets a straight 4 then. So moving on, we are at Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy. I gave Ronan an 8. What did you give him, David?
I gave him a 7.
All right, hold on, because we're gonna come back because I want to address these differences. Twan.
I just, it's funny. I literally just seen Guardians of the Galaxy last week. And didn't see it any other time. And so now when I see Ronan, I give him a 7.
Right. Okay, that's fair. Star, what about you?
I gave him an 8. I gave him an 8 also. I gave him a 3 on scale, 3 on feats, and a 2 on motives.
All right, that's exactly what I gave him. And this is where we disagree with Flip. So Flip he was talking gangster shit to Thanos. He crushed Thanos' right-hand man's throat right in front of Thanos.
He didn't even crush it. He just turned his head right around. Just turned his head.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. He snapped his neck. He's like, oh, is this a head? Does that come off? Oh, it does. So, right in front of Thanos. And then he stole Thanos' one of the Infinity Gems and, put it in his hammer. The man was on some gangster-ass shit. He was doing some...
And I was about to say, that's why I gave him a 3 too. A 3 in the feats, too, because, he looked at Thanos like, bitch, try me, son. No, seriously, he looked at that dude try me, son. He looked at the dynamic I don't care who you are, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I dare you to try to come at me.
Right. But isn't that the same thing we just discussed with Abomination and Hulk, and how we just discussed that it didn't count because all he did was talk shit?
But not only did he talk shit, he took a fucking gem. I mean, he looked at the ball I felt
he didn't just talk shit. He killed his man. It was one thing,
in front of his fucking face.
It was blatant disrespect. Is all I'm saying. That's like me walking up to y'all and like smacking one of your kids in front of you or something like that.
I felt like he spit in Thanos' face. Now, everybody might not view this as the same way. Me personally, somebody spit in my face, they gotta die. End of discussion. I'm sorry it has to be that violent, but spit out of your mouth, son? Yeah, nah. So that's so I feel like he spit in Thanos' face. So he's catching a 3 from me.
All right, so then why did you say 7, David? And where did you decrease him at?
I gave him a 2 in motives because, he was just kind of out for revenge.
So this sounds like you gave him a 2 in feats then.
Yeah, that's exactly where I gave him 2. It's in feats because, so he talked schmedge. He spit in Thanos' face. Big whoop. Thanos was not sitting in front of him.
He was sitting in front of him.
No, he wasn't. He was on a screen.
He met Thanos twice. One time was over a communications device from his spaceship. That was the second time though, when he took the Infinity Gem for himself. The first time he went to Thanos' lair location and that's when he snapped the guy's neck right in front of him.
That's when he was yelling because Gamora. That was when Gamora shit on it, and he was really pissed about it and that he wasn't doing it. Okay, I know what you're saying. But that's you see that all the time. And
Thanos could have snapped out of his existence right there.
All right. I'm shut up. He's getting in there.
All right. So why did you give this man a 7?
I gave him out of motive actually. actually gave him out of motive. Like I felt like the reasoning behind it. Yeah, it was like it was more just like it's more like you just gave a kid a toy, and he just didn't know what to do with it. You know, because of the fact that he was upset. He was just like, I'm going to get back at these crazy people. Like,
I don't disagree with your motive rating because I gave him a 2 on motive too. I mean,
yeah, no, I gave him a 1. I gave him a 1 on motive, but I gave him a 3 on scale and a 3 on feats. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving him. It's like I'm looking at what he did, and I was like, I'm looking at what he did, and all the shit that he did was dope as fuck. And I'm looking at the fact of is scaling. I was like, oh, the shit that he's doing was dope as like the shit that he can do, the shit that he can do is dope as fuck. And then I'm looking at it like, why is he doing it? And I'm like, it's kind of like bullshit.
Go ahead, Star. Go ahead, Star.
Yeah. In my opinion, when you talk about your people, you talk about your race, your ethnicity, whatever, you know, people hold that like really, really dear. And he feels like his entire civilization was slighted by these other people. His entire race was slighted by another people. So that's mostly why.
Yeah, I'm going to Star on this. Like, his motive had to be a 2. We're not going to sit here and say Aldrich Killian, who was a friggin' 1. Like he was basically became a war profiteer and monger and terrorist because Tony like snubbed him. Like that's a 1 in my opinion.
Like when it comes down to revenge for me, like it takes a little bit more. It takes a little bit more with the revenge meter for me to put people at 2s and put people at 3s, all because of the fact that like better yet, just watch fucking Old Boy and you'll understand. Like that's literally a 3 in revenge all the time. And I'm looking at it like if that is a 3 for me in revenge, like you can't just be like, oh, my people were shunned. I have to destroy this whole planet.
It's his whole race. Like Old Boy was a more personal to him. Like I'm just saying, I'm saying on a scale, like his motive was to take out this other race. Like we've given 3s in motive for just like genocidal. Anybody who had a genocidal motive. Like this man's motive was genocidal.
But the thing is that what is behind it? It's not.
We off track though. All right, so like you said 7. David said 7. Me and Star are both on 8s. So let me just go ahead and add it up real quick.
I think it's gonna be a 7.5.
Yeah, then that means he gets an 8. All right, so now we on our one television entry, and I'm mixing the worlds of Netflix and TV for this one because we just took one villain from the Marvel Cinematic Universe TV realm to represent all of TV, and I think nobody does that better than Kingpin. So let's go ahead and just discuss how we rated the Kingpin. Now, I gave this man a 7. I'm gonna start with Star. Star, what did you give Kingpin? I can come back.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just looking at the things and seeing how I'm categorizing it.
All right, David, what did you give Kingpin?
A 4.
I feel like you're trolling me.
Love it.
No, I gave him a 4.
Oh, okay, we're coming back to you. We're coming back. All right. Twine, what did you give him?
I gave him a 9.
Damn. Really? You high as shit, son.
I'm not, yo.
This is all right. I'm about to hear some.
I'm not debating.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. This is a debate show.
Kingpin's a better gets more ranking than voting.
Star. What are you giving him now?
Okay, let me think. For his scale, his threat level, because it was mostly city and he wasn't looking beyond that, I gave him a 2.
Okay.
His motives, once again, I'm giving his I don't know what I'm giving his motives. His motives is toss up for me, but his feats, I gave him a 1 in feats. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna give him a 2 in motives as well. So I'm giving him a 5.
If you're giving him a 1 in feats, all right, I'm gonna need y'all to start convincing me then. So let's go with David because I think that I need to address the 4 before I address the 9. All right, David, why does he get a 4?
All right, you look at his motives. What are his motives? What's he trying to accomplish? Just taking over the crime of Hell's Kitchen.
Well, not just taking over the crime. He wanted to
make a city,
preserve it and save it, or whatever. But it's pretty basic motive.
Yeah.
So
we give him a 1. Now I look at his scale again. What's his?
No. I can't let you move on. I got to count. Because all right, I feel like you giving him. All right, so I think that he deserves a 2 in his motive, and here's my reasoning. He is the only one of the villains that we have, other than Ultron, which we'll get to in a second. He's the only other villain who had a noble motive. His motive, he was going about it in an ill-advised way. His methods weren't. I don't condone his methods, but his motive was to make his city a better place. He just felt that he had to take over the underground. Yeah, the underbelly first before he accomplished that. That's of all the motives that we've discussed, this is probably one of the most intriguing and interesting motives that we've dealt with.
But it's basic.
Right.
No, revenge is based
on a basic scale.
Yeah, revenge is based, power is based, money is based. Those are the 3 most common motives that we've dealt with today.
Yeah. Well, in easier terms, you're just saying that his motives are he wants to save his city. But isn't that the motive of every hero?
Yeah, but he is not a hero. He's a villain.
He's not a hero, but it's still. I'm just saying, on a scale of a motive scale, that's a basic motive. A basic motive that you just want to save your city. He doesn't want to save the U.S. He doesn't want to save the state. He doesn't want to save the country. He doesn't want to do anything. He wants to save his city and his people, and he's doing it. I think it's. I was
just saying, it's not based because I'm taking into account that we're not talking about scale right now. We're just talking about the motive. I'm saying that the reason the motive is greater than a 1 is because he's not doing it for power. He has power, but he's not doing it for power. He has money, but he's not doing it for money. He's doing it. This is a selfless motive, is what I'm saying. So that's what to me makes this greater than a 1. This is a 2 for sure.
I agree with you, Pauly.
All right, but all right, going to scale, we can move on now. I just wanted to speak on that while I counted.
I gave him a 1 on scale.
Okay.
He's a crime boss. If you're gonna give him a 2, then you might as well give John Gotti a 2, or Tony Soprano a 2, or 3. He's a crime boss.
John Gotti's a 2, dude.
Get out of here. John Gotti's a 2.
John Gotti's a 2. They had to get rid of that cat.
To be honest, in those regards, comparing him to John Gotti or whatever, I think his reach was a little longer than John Gotti's because he had every underground organization at his pulse, at his fingertip.
Exactly.
Not even controlled, I wouldn't say controlled, but they all looked to him before they made a move.
He had it so that these people couldn't even say his name.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
still just a crime boss in the end. He doesn't have the super strength. He doesn't have the super size of the comics. He's just a guy.
All right, but citywide threat, though. He's a citywide threat.
Yeah. All right. So city is pretty low in terms. So I get what you're saying, David. But beyond city though, his reach controls people who are from China, Japan, the Russians. His reach extends far beyond the scale of just his city. Is what I'm saying. So,
if that's the case, then why isn't Ironmonger a 3 on the scale? Because he has all that kind of power too, plus an Ironmonger suit.
But I gave him a 2.
But aren't we talking about scale based on their particular space and time, right? And based on everything that's happening with them, in his particular space and time, he has that reach. He has that pull. If we're really going to talk about overall and pull him out from the comics, he's definitely getting a higher rating. You know what I mean? Because of how long his arms are. Yeah. He has some long ass arms, so he's getting higher than a 1.
Yeah. All right. The other thing is too, I guess we just like Star saying, bringing it back to just the story that he's in. He controls the entire arena, the entire city, from the cops to the judges to everybody. So he controls that entire thing. Now, does the scale go beyond that? Like, yeah, I'm not giving him a 3. I'm saying that a 2 is middle ground. Like, if this was anybody else, I would probably say 1 if he didn't have as much influence, as he does. So, but all right, so you gave him a 1 in motos, you gave him a 1 in scale, and then you gave him a 2 in feats?
Yeah, 2 in feats.
So what
Hell's Kitchen. And he straight murked.
I forgot about
Ben Urich in his house. Just like, well, that was a pretty big feat. Just went right in this man's house and said, "I don't like what you're writing. You're done."
I don't know if I'm gonna rank that blatant disregard for human life as a feat, but
right in the fields, man. Right in the fields.
But I would definitely say that I definitely forgot that he blew up Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
All right, so
and he got caught with it and still got away with it. Mm-hmm. So I guess you know what I guess I can give him another point in the scale. Because if you really think about it, if he has the reach enough that he got away with straight letting a bomb off in New York City, then post 9/11 especially, like that's pretty powerful.
That is powerful. All right, Twan. Now let's get to the blatant biasness, because I need to know why this man has a 9 from you.
Yeah.
Why are you putting this man on? Now, why are you putting this man on par with Loki? I just gotta know now.
Alright, listen. The fact that I already said I'm not debating this makes me feel like you just gonna insult the fact that I'm saying I'm not debating this.
You don't get to fucking cop out like that.
Like, because I'm saying, like, he's Carl, like, he's Fist, damn it. The fuck? Like, what the fuck else do I need to say? It ain't shit else I need to say. Like, it ain't nothing else I need to say.
Bro, you intentionally skewing our numbers. Right. You're intentionally skewing our numbers. We can't deal with the biasness. I need an objective number.
You need an objective number? Alright, he's a 9. Alright, it's just straight up like this. So I'm just saying that I'm looking at what he was able to do.
But we can't look forward. We can only look. I'm not looking for. And I'm just in amazement. Like, yo, this man is doing whatever he wants, and nobody's able to do anything about it. Who is trying to, like, nobody's able to do anything about it in this one, and we only can look at this first season. In this first season, he is going uncontested, and that is, the one man that was trying to, it was only 2 people that was trying to stop him, and you know what he did? He murdered one cat because they talked about his mom. All right, how about this, right? Like I said before, he's fucking Fist, damn it. And I didn't. Okay, we will leave that in the troll box, and we have created. He has trolled us for this.
Just saying,
so,
like,
what did you give him, Star? What did you give him? I can't remember.
What did I give him? Initially, I gave him a 5, but I has changed that to a 6 because I forgot that he fucking blew up the fucking city and didn't face any consequences for blowing up the city. So I boosted his feats up. So 2, 2, and 2 for motor scales and feats.
All right, this man gets a 7 because so. Oh, did you give him a 4, David?
Yeah, I gave him a. Well, yeah, I boosted it up to a 5.
You boosted it up to a 5.
Oh yeah, you did boost it up to. All right, so 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 9 is 27 divided by 4. Is 6.7. I can't stand this. I can't stand this, man.
Oh God, I can't. He's like, that's a 9, dog.
He's like, that math. This math works. All right, we about to talk about Ultron. Star, if you want to leave, feel free to. Otherwise, I mean, you can stick around for it and just soak this up.
Yeah, I'm gonna just listen.
All right, cool. All right, so I gave Ultron. All right, so 7 is the official ranking for Kingpin. I gave Ultron an 8. David, what did you give Ultron?
I gave him an 8 as well.
Twan, what did you give this man or this robot?
I watched it again, so I gave him a 7.
initially you gave him like an 8 or a 9.
I gave him an 8. I gave him an 8 initially, but then I watched it again and I had to give him, and then
and you decreased it. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about your 7 since yours is the one that differs. Why?
All right. So based on motive, he actually like his motive in itself. Like think about it like this: he was born yesterday, but he stayed up all night. Like so, it's like he just saw the world and was like, I want to destroy the world to save it. That's it. Like he didn't experience life itself. So it was like he just wanted to destroy it because he had the power. Because he had the power to be able to save everybody. Yeah. That's all. Like as far as a motive in itself, it's really not a really
Well, this is the reason why I didn't give him a 3. But so the reason why I gave him a 2 in motive is the same reason why I gave Fisk a 2 in motive. Is because these two are the only 2 villains who actually had a noble cause. Now, I'll grant it to you that Ultron didn't make sense, but I felt like that was more of a storytelling issue. Like they gave this character a motive without basically having a reason to have this motive, and I felt like it was just that was my only issue with it. But in the same sense that his motive is noble and he wanted to save the world by doing something, but his method of going about it was way different. But even still, you're saying that you want to save something, but you don't have. But it was like that's the point, is that he had no real reason. There was no real reason to even say. Even if you say I want to save it, there's no real reason. Why? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's no why. There's just.
You convinced me. I'm going to reduce mine to a 1 now.
Like other than that, he was a total badass.
Yeah. All right. So I'm with him, David. Now. So David, what is your thought process on it? Like, because I'm assuming 2 is you gave a 2 in motive.
Yeah. So I figured he was trying to make the world. He was trying to rid the world of humans. I mean, that was like his motive. That was his motive. Was humans are bad, so I have to get rid of them. That was his motive.
Ultimately, I still agree with Twan with decreasing that motive rating from a 2 to a 1. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with my 7. So that puts us at 2 7s and an 8, and that's
2 7s and an 8. Okay.
2 7s and an 8, and unless you're going to give an arbitrary rating without.
I'm not going to give an arbitrary rating. I don't want to. I'm not that type of person.
Okay, so then 733. So this gets a 7, and it gets rounded down. So that's where we're at. So this part I'm gonna cut out the video, but I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video today, right now, since we're not gonna have time to do another whole video on heroes. So
that took a little bit longer, but it was good. It was good.
Really fun.
It was real good.
That's why I enjoyed this. And now I'm looking forward to doing the heroes one. So
and we're gonna have Flip antsy ass in there too.
Yeah, Chris will be back next week too.
Yeah. So ultimately, folks at home, we want to know what you thought. What give us your rankings on these villains. Let us know how you felt they stacked up against one another. Do you find that revenge is a strong motive? Like, what do you think the base motives should be rated at? Like, is power, money, revenge, noble causes like saving the world or ridding the world of humans and things like that? Like, what do you think about those things? So use the ranking system that we did, and then you can provide those down in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. As always, we appreciate you guys' support, and we'll get at you on the next video.